Good morning to you and a happy Sunday. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz taking a deeper dive into your hot and hazy forecast. Not going to be so hot today, relatively speaking, to where we're going to be, especially by Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll have 80s, widespread 80s, 90s, and elevated fire danger because we'll have lower humidity in place. The hot temperatures, dry fuels, and any of the lightning that we had Wednesday night and Thursday, especially if they're smoldering in those dry fuels, that could lead to some new fires. So that's going to be something we're watching out for. The good news is temperatures will begin to drop later in the week, but until then, it's really going to be a very hot forecast. So I'll take a deep dive into it. But first, let's talk about the wildfires that we have just burning in the Northwest and up into Canada. I wanted to show you the visible satellite because you can see all of the fires, especially over central and northeastern Washington, as well as up into British Columbia. All of that smoke is moving over a good portion of the state, as well as in Oregon, all of the fires there, and over portions of Idaho and into Montana. This side of the Cascades, we have just some low clouds in place. Those are going to mix out and scatter out, and then we have sunshine. I wanted to show you where the wildfire smoke could be today, more so east of us and to the north of us, but we could get some northerly flow, and that would bring some of the wildfire smoke, especially from Canada, into portions of our area. Most of it should stay aloft, so up in the sky, but some of that wildfire smoke could reach the surface, come down from aloft all the way to the surface, and that could lead to some drops in air quality. That's going to be something we're watching out for, but most of it should stay higher in elevation. So we'll keep you posted on that, but that would likely be the case later Monday, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, just with how hot and stagnant we'll be. But as long as we have somewhat of a wind, that would keep the air mixing, and that would help disperse it a little more. But we've gone ahead and issued back-to-back first alert weather days, Tuesday and Wednesday, because of the hot daytime temperatures. But not just that, but our overnights are going to be very warm. These are our morning lows. So usually those are achieved by, say, 4 o'clock, right before sunrise. And so that means most of the night we're in the 70s, most of the area at least, and we have our urban heat island, so here to Tacoma, even closer to Olympia. So it is going to be hot, hazy, and then the elevated fire danger. This is what I was talking about. Our temperatures will start to come down. There are a lot of uncertainties of what happens with our weather pattern later in the week. Let's talk about what's going on right now. We have blue sky around the area. We have some lower clouds, basically through the strait. I showed you that on the visible satellite, how this side of the Cascades we have low clouds, but those are going to mix out. We'll have winds coming out of the north, so a nice breeze today that's drying out the air. Low and mid 70s up north for the north interior, and then upper 70s, lower 80s for central and the south sound. Eastern Washington, 80s and 90s. Of course, World Cup final is today at noon, Spain versus Argentina. If you're going to any of the watch parties around the region, it's going to be comfortable, except if you're in the direct sun, prepare for that. Going to be on the toasty side. And if you are headed down to Tacoma for the final game of the series, the Comets versus our Rainiers, temperatures will be in the mid and potentially upper 70s. And then the Giants here at home against our Mariners. First pitch 1:10 before the Reds come to town tomorrow. Temperature-wise, low and mid 70s, and once again, prepare to sit in some direct sunlight. As for Monday, I mentioned how temperatures will start to come up. We'll have high clouds moving in, and then we'll have some potentially wildfire smoke aloft. So that could keep some portions of the area a little on, say, the cooler side of things. That could shave off a couple of degrees in terms of the high temperatures. Otherwise, we're still expecting 70s and 80s, mid and potentially upper 80s, especially for our hot spots. Even up in the mountains, you see how warm it's going to be? We'll have 80s there as well. In terms of any cloud cover that we could see, we're going to have mostly sunny skies, clouds going to be very minimal today, but watch what happens. High clouds start to stream in from the south. That will bring us more in the way of filtered sunshine. And then into Tuesday, maybe some clouds at times, if not some hazy conditions. Temperatures really crank up. So here's Tuesday. You see low and mid 80s, Orcas Island even around 80. The coast going to be very warm. Up in the mountains, very, very warm as well. Upper 80s, low and mid 90s. We'll likely have a heat advisory issued by the National Weather Service at some point. Now Wednesday, the coast could be a touch a touch cooler. Some spots up north as well as we start to get the return of onshore winds, but it's going to be very, very slight. I'm thinking Thursday, that's when we'll have the more noticeable cool down, especially compared to Tuesday's temperatures. So upper 80s, lower 90s. Once again, eastern Washington going to bake in the 90s and triple digits. Thursday, again, that's when we'll start to get the return of onshore flow. So you see temperatures will start to scale back a little bit, and then interior areas low and mid 80s, which is a noticeable drop, especially when you compare it to, again, Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, a lot of uncertainties later in the week, so we'll have remnants of what's currently a tropical storm near Mexico. It would come up the west coast, and so that will tap into some monsoonal moisture, and that could bring us the chance for some showers, especially up in the mountains. This would be Thursday, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms, kind of similar to last Thursday, but a lot of it, model guidance shows it more confined to the mountains for now. If that changes, obviously we will let you know. And then next weekend, we could have maybe some showers, if not showers, cloud cover, and temperatures would be more seasonal. But until then, we'll have temperatures climbing like roller coaster, topping out in the hottest days Tuesday and Wednesday, followed by a modest cool down, again closer to where we should be. Models are showing beyond the 7-day forecast, and as we wrap up the month, temperature-wise, low and mid 70s, which could be seasonal, if not below seasonal, which would be a nice relief from the high heat that we're expecting over the next couple of days.